Hello everyone, my name is Stephanie Brandt and this is my individual case analysis on the Sony PlayStation case. I'm going to start off with some background. In 2011, Sony was running an advertising campaign that claimed the PlayStation 3 did everything. That same year, they were involved in a security breach scandal that affected over 100 million users and ended up costing Sony about $171 million. The principal players in this case are Sony, Patrick Sable, Sony's Senior Director of Corporate Communications, Kazu Hirai, Sony's Executive Deputy President, PlayStation and Curiosity users, and the United States Congress. On April 17th through the 19th of 2011, attacks on Sony's computer system took place, but no one was aware of this except the hackers themselves. On April 20th, 2011, the PlayStation Network, which was used by PlayStation gamers to play multiplayer games online and purchase software, was shut down without any explanation. Sony's network service, Curiosity, that let users download music, videos, and TV shows was also shut down. On April 21st, a blog post released by Sony said the company was investigating what caused the shutdown and that it might take up to 2 days before service was fully restored. All of the blog posts released by Sony were written by Patrick Sable. The following day, April 22nd, Sony admitted that their system had been hacked after days of people already suspecting this. Sony explained that the shutdown was necessary in order to conduct an investigation and that they were doing everything in their power to resolve the situation quickly. Customers were thanked for being patient and told to stay tuned for updates. Sony apologized to customers for the delay in their service and claimed to be working on strengthening their network infrastructure on April 23rd. They also thanked customers again for their patience. Two days later, on April 25th, PlayStation released another blog post that said they didn't know exactly when services would resume because the work was so time-consuming, but that they would get it running as soon as possible. On April 26th, Sony finally discovered that the attack had begun on April 17th and ran until the 19th. They made customers aware of this and let them know that the personal information might have been stolen by the unknown hackers as a result of the attack. What they failed to mention was that 80 million customers were victims of this attack. Sony said that some of the information that was stolen included, but was not limited to, customers' names, birth dates, password security answers, credit card numbers, and expiration dates. Sony admitted to not knowing that the customer's private information had been stolen until an internal security firm figured it out. On April 29th, 2011, Sony received a letter from Congress in which they asked why Sony had waited to notify customers about the breach. Sony explained that they only had small indications that something had gone wrong and that they had hired a security forensic team to do the investigation. United States Representative Mack announced that she was going to introduce legislation that would require companies to quickly inform customers when their personal information had been stolen. Kazu Hirai responded to a letter from a senator who had also asked why Sony failed to notify customers about the security breach in a timely manner. And Sony agreed to provide 1 year of free credit monitoring as well as $1 million insurance policy to cover the possibility of identity theft. On May 1st, at a news conference in Tokyo, Kazu Hirai apologized for what had happened for the first time since the incident occurred. That same day, Sony discovered that another network of theirs, Sony Online Entertainment, had been hacked as well. This time, 24.6 million users had been affected. By the end of May, Sony announced that they had been victims of another 3 smaller cyber attacks. The PR problem. Consumers were losing trust in Sony due to the amount of security issues they kept experiencing, the information that was being withheld, and were also frustrated that they couldn't use the services they were paying for, nor were they being provided with an actual date of when services would resume. the PR objective. The PR objective in this case was to regain the trust of the consumers and the public by apologizing, taking responsibility, and offering incentives. The main strategy used by Sony in this case was to apologize to all their customers for the inconvenience this shutdown was causing and for all the security issues they might encounter. Sony kept consumers updated by continuously posting to the PlayStation blog and thanking them for their patience, while also apologizing for their personal information being compromised and not notifying them in a timely manner. They took responsibility for what happened and tried to seem as sincere and apologetic as possible. Another strategy used by Sony was to develop a customer appreciation program. This program was used to compensate customers who had experienced a 23-day shutdown and included access to highly sought after downloadable games, free movie rentals, and free access to PlayStation Plus for 30 days. When Sony experienced another security breach in October 2011, they posted on their blog immediately. The blog post gave a long list of all of the details Sony knew about, including the amount of people who might have been affected by the breach and that no one's credit card information had been stolen. These are two pieces of information that they had failed to include in their initial blog post the first time the situation occurred, which shows that they realized that they weren't as transparent as they could have been the first time. The PR strategies of apologizing, taking responsibility, and incentivizing consumers were effective. Despite not responding quickly and withholding how many customers were affected, constantly posting to their blog and providing customers with updates was a great way to keep all of them informed. The president agreeing to pay for credit monitoring and offering an insurance policy for victims of identity theft showed that they were taking responsibility for their mistakes. The incentives were definitely the most successful part of their strategy because everyone likes getting things for free, especially when some video games can be pretty costly. The program was well received by most customers who were able to take advantage of this offer. In this instance, I would have used more than one platform in order to communicate with users. Although the PlayStation blog was top rated, I believe that using other social media platforms like Facebook, since Twitter wasn't so popular yet in 2011, would have been more effective and would have helped get the message out to more customers because I really don't know how many people were actually looking at the PlayStation blog. Withholding information from customers was also a huge mistake in this case. I definitely would have suggested being honest about how many people had actually been impacted by the security breach. This would have helped avoid creating mistrust between the brand and the consumers, and the incentive program was great, but I felt given the severity of this issue and how long it lasted, I probably would have offered a program that was longer than 30 days. The shutdown lasted for 23 days, which was almost the equivalent of how long they offered the free incentives for. So I felt like a 90-day incentive period would have been more appropriate for this situation. After researching, no current data breaches or security hacks of PlayStation have occurred. It seems that the incidents that took place in this case are the most current ones. I also found that the PlayStation website has a list of tips and advice on what to do if an authorized transaction is made on behalf of your account, or if you believe your account has been compromised by a hacker or anything of that sort. And then PlayStation is continuing to thrive as a brand given that they sold out of pre-order stock for the new PlayStation 5. Other retailers did as well, like Target and GameStop. And the PlayStation 5 is set to release on November 12th of this year. That's all. Thank you.